Hi paper crafters, welcome to another Design with Jo video. I'm Joanne Rogers, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. Today I want to share a really fun and cute project with you. It's a little pouch made out of designer series paper, and it is an idea that has been around for a while. And this one I have here has a tea bag in it and also has a little York peppermint patty that just fits in the little pouch, but it is also great for gift card holders. So I'm going to make it for you using the Wrapped in Plaid Designer Series paper and also the trio of tags. So let's get started. You're going to start with a piece of 6x6 designer paper, and this is from the Wrapped in Plaid, and I love it because it's got a shiny gold on one side and it's all different tartans and plaids, and then on the other is just a pattern, and there's a variety of different patterns. I've just chosen the one that has the stripes on it. So what you're going to do first is you are going to fold this in half on the diagonal, so just one point to the other. You can just fold it in half, match that up, and hold it in place there. And I usually just finish it off with my finger, and then I will give it a nice crisp edge with my bone folder. And now we're going to pull in our trimmer. So the first thing we want to do is we want to open up our trimmer, and we want to move the piece so the long fold side wants to go to 1/2 inch. So find 1/2 inch on the right hand of the channel. And if you put it at 1/2 inch, and you can line it up right along that line, and then you can just put your guide in place and it'll snap in place, and then give it a nice, you don't have to press too hard with this one, and it will give it a nice score line. You can see it there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it so that the fold is along the lip at the top. And you're first of all going to take this point, so the left point, right out to 2 3/4. So right at the 2 3/4 mark is where the point is going to be, and you're going to score that down. And then you're going to move it over to 5 3/4. So the same thing, just the point lined up with the 5 3/4. Just need a titch more. There we go. And score that. And then we're done with our trimmer. So you can put that aside. And now what we have is we have a fully scored piece, and we are going to just fold it. So I'm going to fold first of all on my 1/2 inch line. And I'm just going to fold that up, just to get my lines made and nicely folded here. So I'm using my bone folder again. And now I'm going to open it up. If I can get it open, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to fold along these other score lines. And so I'm going to fold in here, and give it a nice crisp edge, and fold in on the other side as well. And these lines will match up perfectly. Now I'm folding so that the piece that I want to see on the outside is in the middle. So I want to see the one with the gold lines on it. So that's in the middle. And now what I do is I want to push in on that middle line. So that's why we folded it both ways. I'm going to push in on that. So you create a fold like this, and now I'm going to fold back on both of those. Okay, so you create your little pocket like that. Now what happens usually is this little piece of paper sort of sticks out the bottom. So I just push that in with my finger. If I can, push it in with one finger, and then take your bone folder and just sort of run it out to the edge, and that should get rid of that line a little bit. And same thing on this one. I'm going to push in here, and I'm going to run out my lines a little bit here. It's just a nice finishing little touch. Okay, so there I've got that, and you're not going to really notice that once it's standing up. I know you can see it now, but if that really bothers you, then you can put a little dab of glue in here, and that will hold it in place. But you really don't need to. So I'm just going to pull in my 1/8 inch hole punch and just give that a punch. And I'm going to use a little bit of the Cherry Cobbler diagonal ribbon and just cut that off. And I made myself a nice big hole there so that I can just pull this through and knot it. Okay, and just, if you want your ends to go out both ways, you want to do a square knot. So what that is the first one I did left over right and under, and now I'm going to do right over left and under. And what I should end up with, if the stars are all aligned, is both of my pieces will be going off to either side rather than a little bit cockeyed there. So there we go, we've got that, and I'm not going to trim those yet. And now we're going to decorate it. So I've pulled in the Tags photopolymer stamp set, and this one is great. We're a little bit past Halloween right now, but it was great for Halloween, and we're going to be using it for Christmas. And what I'm going to use is the Season's Greetings, and then I've got also some ideas for Valentine's. So this one is sticking around a little bit longer, so still available after the holiday catalog is done. So I put it onto my block, and I'm going to use Shaded Spruce ink. And I'm going to ink up the whole thing. So I get it inked up really well. And then before you stamp, because this is photopolymer, just make sure you pull in your Stampin' Pierce mat. And then I'm going to go this way because there's enough paper. And I'm just going to stamp and give it a really, really good pressing. Now that he's stamped, I'm going to pull in the Trio of Tags die, and I'm going to place that right over top. And I am looking at this one. The trick that I've found for this is that I want to look at this bottom one here, and I want to line it up really well there so that I can just see a tiny little bit of the green outline. And when I can see that, then I'm happy with it. I'm going to throw a piece of washi tape on here, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. So I'll be right back. And what you get when you're done is you get 3 individual tags, all with a nice little border on them. This one has stitching right around it. This is so cute for Christmas. And then this one here, you just need to poke out the ends here. And I find that they come out fairly easily, and then you'll have a finished product there, a finished tag there. So we are going to use this guy here, the Season's Greetings, and so we are going to finish it off with a whole bunch of punches. So I found that the best punch for in behind here is the 1.5 inch punch, and it just gives a tiny little bit of a border. So I'm just going to take my 1.5 inch punch in Cherry Cobbler. I'm going to take my 2 inch punch in Shaded Spruce. I'm going to take my Starburst punch, which is one of my favorite punches, in my Gold Glimmer paper. And then if I put these all together and just layer them, I found that there was just a little too much green there for me. So what I did is I pulled out my Stitched Labels dies, and I did a white one that's just going to fit right in there. And then the red really is going to cover up a lot of the stitching, but it just left that almost like a spokes. It reminded me a little bit of the snowflake. So I'm just going to layer these together, and I'm just going to use liquid glue. And then the Season's Greetings, I'm going to put on, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little tiny bit of ribbon through there. And so what I found works really best is to take a little bit of our Shaded Spruce gold ribbon, and I fold it in half. I give it a nice point here, because that's a pretty small hole. So I give it a small point, and then I fold it in half, and I pull that through. It's going to fray your ends just a little bit, but don't worry about it. And I'm just going to put one here, one little one little knot there. Okay, and I'm going to finish off those ends. Okay, now I'm going to put this on here with dimensionals. I'm going to put my dimensionals onto my circle and put my Season's Greeting over top, and I'm going to leave myself a border of Cherry Cobbler on the bottom. And I just want to finish that off with a few rhinestones. So I'm going to pull in the Holiday Rhinestones, which have great colors. I'm going to put some green over here, and this is Shaded Spruce, just on both points, I guess. And then the snowflake is going to get one of the bigger rhinestones right there. I think I would have liked to have, I'm going to put it in there actually. I need one more dimensional, and I want to put that underneath. So what I do here is I'm going to take my dimensional and take off both the top and the bottom, and I'm going to try and attach it to my, here we go, the point here, and I am going to go in and just put that so that it just sits up and it doesn't have a little bow in the bottom. So I'm just going to pull in my little guy here, and I'm going to place that on top, and I'm going to put dimensionals on here. So I'm going to put 3, 1 on either side, and then 1 at the bottom, and that's enough to hold this on pretty sturdily, is the word I want to use. And then just lay your season's greetings and try and get it straight on there on top. And then you can just put your gift card right in there. So you can put it in like this, or you can put it in all the way straight. And so there you have your gift card, and you could put a little, I'm just going to pull one of these York peppermint patties, put it in the back, and then they get a little treat to go along with their gift card. So that's a quick and easy project that you can make as long as you have some 6x6 designer series paper, and I think that probably lots of you do. This works great because it shows off both the inside and the outside of the paper. So the hardest thing is going to be deciding which side you want to be facing out. You can purchase any of the supplies I used for this design by clicking on the links in the description below. And if you live in Canada and don't yet have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your gal. You can also find me at www.designwithjo.ca. I post regularly, and it'd be great to have you join in. If this project tickled your creativity, please consider liking it below and subscribing to my YouTube channel for more great ideas. Thanks, and have a great paper crafting day.